Friendly Neighborhood Master Alan. I think we are now far enough removed from the Thrawn discussion on Twitter that I can do this without it connecting to all of what was happening with that. If you missed it, there was a week where the disagreement du jour was Thrawn on Star Wars Twitter. And there were a whole lot of people talking past each other, but I saw one particular commenter say something that I wanted to make a longer video about. I've been told it's a red flag that I really like Anakin and the Joker and empathize with those characters, so I don't understand why it's not a red flag for somebody to say that they feel the same way about Thrawn. That's intended to be just a different voice, not a mocking voice. Mostly. I am not going to tag or signal boost that person. I read through a lot of their posting history on Twitter and then just blocked them so that I never saw them again because... Anyway, red flag means different things to different people, so let's start with defining terms. When I say red flag, what I mean is I have additional questions based on the statement that you just made. And the nature of the statement means that I probably cannot just assume the best. I need to find out. And so with Anakin and the Joker, the first question I ask is what it is about them that you empathize with. Using Anakin as the example, some people will say that they understand the feeling of that crushing weight of the emotional constipation and feeling like they cannot safely express any of those big feelings anywhere. So far, so good. But when we get to feeling envious of the character's willingness to shed the fear of social consequences to enact violence on all of the world that they feel is applying that pressure on them. Because some people experience intense pressure on Anakin from the Jedi, but Palpatine really cared and understood Anakin. Anyway, but that same demographic is also going to see stories about the Joker, and they are envious of the character's ability to shed the constraints of social expectations and bring violence to complete strangers. The Joker is not committing evil for a greater good. He has no deeper motivation. The Joker is just harming innocent people because he's fucking evil. And I understand that there are many people in society, especially young men, that experience this feeling of anger and sadness and loneliness that they don't know how to express, they don't know how to explain, and they feel like trying to do so causes them to be punished by the people around them. And so if someone sees a character that is going through that same set of feelings, watches them snap and then lash out against everything, being envious of the lashing out is a pretty good indicator that therapy would be a good choice. Other people are going to watch Anakin, or Dooku, or Thrawn, or a lot of other characters that we perceive to be villains. And they're going to watch that character do the wrong thing for the right reason, as they sell little pieces of their soul and rationalize it to themselves that it's the wrong thing, but it's for the right reason. And then the progression of those characters' arcs are going to be all the little pieces until we get to some pivotal moment that is where they sell that last piece of their soul. For Anakin, it's the younglings. With Thrawn, I would argue it's the bombing of Lothal, but some people would argue it happened way before that. But since you were with the character for those smaller sales and you saw all the baby steps leading to that big moment, a person can kind of take a snapshot of who the character was before they started making those choices. They can think of the core of the character as whoever that person was before those choices. And they can think about the ways a couple of little things could have broken a little bit different, and maybe that character would have held on to more of their soul for longer. Then I got some more stuff about how we consume media, but that's going to have to be another episode.